Buenos días para todos, bienvenidos a esta nueva charla informativa con una de las universidades con las que tenemos convenio y es la Universidad de Nottingham. La mañana de hoy nos va a acompañar Emma, quien es la International Relations Manager y nos va a contar todo lo necesario sobre esta institución, los programas más fuertes que ellos tienen y les va a dar algunas sugerencias sobre cómo adelantar su proceso de postulación. Les comparto que con esta universidad el convenio establece un descuento del 10% en el valor de la matrícula para las personas que son financiadas por Colfuturo y les cuento que históricamente hemos financiado a 57 estudiantes, 2 personas fueron seleccionadas en el 2021, es decir que hay una larga experiencia con esta institución y con beneficiarios de Colfuturo quienes ya han tenido la experiencia de estar estudiando en el Reino Unido en la Universidad de Nottingham. Entonces, bienvenida Emma, thank you for joining us today. Emma va a hablar en español y en inglés, así que adelante Emma.
Muchísimas gracias, Johanna, y muchísimas gracias por la invitación y gracias a todos por acompañarnos. Valoramos mucho esa colaboración con Colfuturo porque facilita las oportunidades para todos los estudiantes colombianos para estudiar en el Reino Unido. Voy a seguir en inglés porque si no, me imagino que voy a hablar un poquito más. I'll speak for longer, I think, if I speak in Spanish, but we can keep in touch afterwards. I hope that's okay. So my job is to support students from the Americas region and support you with your, study journey from wherever you are to study masters in the UK. I love Colombia. I've traveled there many times. I did live in Costa Rica for nearly 8 years, so I have I think a genuine interest in wanting to welcome students from the whole region and Colombia in particular, because you're very active members of the student community as well. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about the university, about our rankings and reputation, the kind of faculties and programs we have on offer, a bit about the city and the UK, and some other scholarship opportunities as well that you can apply for masters and research as well. So moving on to our rankings and reputation. Nottingham has a global reputation of excellence. We're ranked 18th in the UK and we're a member of the Russell Group. So you may be familiar with this. It's a group of 24 universities in the UK and research is our main aim, one of the main aims, and we're compared to the Ivy League. So the Russell Group is a bit like the Ivy League in the USA. So obviously our master students and research students form part of our research output. They contribute to that. And Nottingham has ranked 8th in the UK for many years in research as well. And last but not least, we have a reputation in sports. So we've won Sports University of the Year for the 2nd time in 3 years. And that's not just because of our ranking and place in the University Sports League. It's about our reputation for inclusivity, the diversity of our facilities. So if you're an athlete or if you want to just practice sports in your spare time, there's something for everyone at Nottingham. So just moving on to the next slide. Sorry, it moved itself there. So this is our main campus. As you can see, it's really green. This campus has won awards for the last 17 years. It's won a sustainability award, and you can see why. We have student accommodation on this campus, a medical centre, the hospital, and this building, the red building that you can see in the distance, is another campus, Jubilee campus, and that's where our business school is. And Sutton Bonington is about half an hour away from this campus where our biosciences and vet school are. So there's everything you need on this campus and all the campuses really. So that's library facilities, accommodation, cafes, bars, the clinic, everything you need. And it's just a really nice place to study and do exercise as well. And there is a bus service for free that takes you around this campus, because as you can see, it's quite large. So you can jump on and off the bus around the campus, and it's just 15 minutes from the city centre as well. So these are some more examples of the green areas on the campus. You may recognise the house on the right-hand side. That was where the Batman movie, A Dark Knight Rises, was filmed. So that was Wayne Manor in the movie. And you can see the group of students there playing Quidditch. It's one of the student societies. And you may be familiar with Nottingham overseas as well. So we have international campuses. So the first one was established in Malaysia in 2000, and then in 2006 in China. So we have students from those campuses, and students based in Nottingham can go out to those campuses as well. And we have links with our business schools. But we have over 75 different partners as well, partner universities, different research and study abroad exchange partnerships with over 200 universities worldwide. So there really is an opportunity for students to study for a semester and experience, have a different cultural experience as well. And we have a growing alumni network as well. And they're a really good network to tap into, to speak to, for advice on careers and job opportunities as well. So in terms of our career service, so we really do offer a great career service. It's a lifelong membership. We will guide you, when you're here, but also when you graduate as well. And there are opportunities to network with companies who are invited to the campus. They give guest lectures, especially in our business school, and all our faculties have links with industry. So there's always going to be those networking opportunities when you're here. And there's also job opportunities as well, not just while you're at university, but for afterwards as well. And you can see we're ranked top 70 in the world. So Nottingham's renowned for our employability as well. So we have 5 faculties at Nottingham. The first one is engineering, so that's one of our strongest areas as well, especially electrical engineering, aerospace technology, mechanical, and as you can see, we're 86, so top 100 in the world. And some of the industrial partners, for example, are Rolls-Royce, Boeing, Airbus. So students are exposed to those opportunities of working with industry when you're here as well. And there are lots of, the list on the left-hand side are some of the schools and areas of study in engineering, but there are many more master's opportunities. So I can talk about those after the presentation. Faculty of Science, so as you can see, pharmacy is one of our strongest subjects. We're 5th in the world, and that forms part of our history as a university, because pharmacy, the founder of a chain of pharmacies in the UK called Boots donated the land to the university, and also an ex-student, so a graduate of our School of Pharmacy, went to work with researchers in Boots, and they developed ibuprofen. So that's something that the university is renowned for as well. Our Faculty of Arts, we're really strong in literature and especially creative writing. So, we don't just offer STEM subjects, there's lots of different opportunities in arts as well, and the masters at master's level. Medicine and health science, again, that's something that the university is renowned for as an area of study. So we have the Queen's Hospital and all those medical facilities on campus. We're renowned for sports related subjects, and that links to our reputation for sports as well. So pharmacology is one of those options. Medicine, public health is a popular subject, and particularly for Colombian students, we found that many choose the biological photography and imaging because it's quite a unique course in the UK. So that's certainly something that I can share information on afterwards as well. And we are renowned for nursing and midwifery and veterinary medicine. So the campus that I mentioned before, Sutton Bonington, that's dedicated to biosciences and our vet school. And finally, Faculty of Social Sciences, so that's all our business school options. We're focused on entrepreneurship, innovation and management. The business school has its very own Centre for Innovation. So that's dedicated to current students and graduates who want to work on their startup businesses. Our School of Economics is actually separate to our business school. In some universities it's actually combined, but we have separate schools, and actually we are highly ranked in economics and business, especially finance, and law as well. So again, lots of different options at master's level in these kind of subject areas. And I think one of the benefits of studying at Nottingham, and especially at master's level, is the fact that we do guarantee accommodation on our campus. So in the UK, there are lots of different universities, and several of them are called campus universities for our accommodation on campus. So options for postgraduate students are self-catered. So that means that you have your own private room and bathroom and share a kitchen with other students. So you will need an offer on your master's to apply for accommodation on our campus, but there are lots of options. Some of the buildings are more modern, some are traditional, but we do guarantee accommodation for all our international students for the duration of the course as well. And we have students here on campus who can advise you and tell you all about the different areas, but Nottingham is not a huge city, so it's really easy to get to know people, and so is living in accommodation. You'll meet people outside your course as well, which is nice. And we have over 200 different student societies, so that's for postgraduates as well. A lot of the Latin American societies are postgraduates, you know, the members of those societies. As you can imagine, the Colombian society, the Mexican society are very sociable. They organize events en conjunto. So they celebrate all your national holidays, and they welcome students from all over the world. So there are different members of the societies as well, and I can help put you in touch with them. But as you can see, there are so many different options. So there's over 70 sports clubs alone. Quidditch, if that's something you want to try, but also lots of outdoor activities. It's very, you know, in the UK, it's really popular to do outdoor activities such as, you know, running, cycling, climbing. So there's a famous area in the Peak District, which is close to Nottingham, for climbing, if you want to try something like that as well. And this is an example of one of our best sports facilities on campus. So this is the newest, and it's really fantastic. So you'll see the name David Ross. He was an ex-student of Nottingham, and he donated £40 million. So we've had Olympians training here, studying at Nottingham. There's an indoor climbing wall, a swimming pool, all the facilities that you need, and you can buy a membership, a yearly membership, which means that you can use it at any time, whenever you want, and go to different classes like body pump or whatever you prefer. But if you buy the yearly pass, you can just go to any class that you want. And for those who haven't had the opportunity to visit the UK yet, this is where Nottingham is. So we're less than 2 hours from London by train. It's a much smaller city than London, and it's really easy to get around and get to know people. So I was just thinking today, 2 hours is nothing really. It's quite common to travel that distance. The UK is a really small place compared to Colombia, compared to the travel times and distances, and because it's kind of out of the capital, and to walk, you know, in the centre of the UK, the cost of living is lower. but it's really accessible to Scotland and Ireland. And in fact, we have a local airport called East Midlands. And lots of international students take advantage of the airport and travel to other cities. So Barcelona, Paris, all kinds of European cities at very low cost. So there's an airline called Ryanair, and others as well, where it could cost sometimes £30 one way to fly. And yeah, it's a more relaxed ritmo de vida, really, in Nottingham. But it's really, there's a lot on offer. Don't get me wrong, it's a medium-sized city, but it's really caters for students in particular, so it's very diverse as well. And the Peak District that I mentioned earlier is less than 1 hour away from the city, and you can still travel to Scotland and Ireland. And I think that's another advantage of living in a smaller city. It's more convenient, easy to make friends, and just accessible to other parts of the UK as well. So you'll really get to enjoy travelling around as well, being based in Nottingham. This is you'll know our famous Robin Hood. We have a castle in the centre of Nottingham, and Robin Hood's old stomping ground, so Sherwood Forest. You can visit Sherwood Forest, which is around half an hour away. But it has a historic side to it, Nottingham, and a network of caves. So some of the cafes and bars are set in caves. So it has a real historic and medieval feel to the city centre, and all the streets are cobbled. The man in the centre is Sir Jesse Boot. He's the gentleman that I mentioned before who donated the land to the university. The founder of Boots, the chemist, and Nottingham is a UNESCO City of Literature. And the chap on the right-hand side was a famous poet called D.H. Lawrence. So just to run through the basic academic requirements for Colombian students. So normally, this is an average, it depends on the programme, but normally we would ask for a GPA promedio of between 3.5 and 4 out of 5. So a 3.5 is the equivalent of the UK 2.2. Sorry, I put them in the wrong order there. But 4 out of 5 is the equivalent of 2.1. So for the majority of programmes, it's a 2.1. Some of the engineering programmes are 2.2. And especially I imagine that many people have work experience, professional experience as well. And an English certificate is one of the requirements too. And it's a straightforward application process. You can contact me after and I can tell you more about that. But there's a personal statement as part of the online application as well, which is an ensayo in a way. And then in terms of the scholarship opportunities, well, we have, as Johanna mentioned, we have an agreement with Colfuturo where we offer a 10% discount. Now the benefit is that, what Johanna mentioned this as well, our business school also offer an additional 10%. And my colleague Dane will be delivering a presentation on just business school and their programs as well. But you can combine those. You can combine a Colfuturo scholarship with one of the university's Beca de Excelencia. So that's America's Postgraduate Excellence Award. And if you are an athlete, if you're competing athletes, there are scholarship packages for athletes as well. And you may be familiar with Chevening. So that's a British government scholarship that you can apply for programs such as economics, politics, international relations, those kind of things. And they look for kind of students who want to be leaders in their field. So lots of opportunities for postgraduates and being able to combine those awards as well. And I hope I haven't, well, it was a whistle-stop tour, really. I hope I haven't missed too much out, but I can share lots more information after today, and I'm happy to take some questions now. But this is my email address. Please feel free to drop me a line, and I can arrange a follow-up face-to-face Teams meeting if you like, or we can communicate by email. So thanks again for listening. I'll just stop sharing my screen, and hopefully if anybody has any questions, just let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma, and I invite all of you to send and share your questions through our chat. So while we receive any questions, I would like to ask you if you could advise the students about a good timing to confirm their process, to check the program, to apply to the university, so they can have this project ready for the next semester, for the first semester in 2022.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a good question, because we always advise international students in particular to apply sooner rather than later. So certainly this year you could start to think about and investigate, explore the types of courses that you're looking for this year. And applications open, sort of the end of September, October. So it's always a good time to apply this year rather than next year. But there's no harm in applying early next year either. But we always say, sometimes programs close. If they're full, they close later on in the year. So yeah, sooner rather than later, really.
We have one question from Milena. I'm going to read it in Spanish. ¿Cuál es el puntaje de examen TOEFL o IELTS para aplicar?
Okay, it depends on the program. So normally for programs such as literature, English literature, veterinary medicine, the IELTS requirement is higher, so it's usually 7. And for, I would say, the majority of programs, it's 6.5, no less than 6. Some of the engineering programs are slightly lower, so it could be 6, no less than 5.5, but 6.5 is an average.
Something else that I would like to ask you is regarding some recommendation. I'm going to ask for recommendations while they think about their questions. Some recommendations about the essay that they have to submit in their applications. What would you recommend them? Okay,
so obviously, in terms of the subject area, it's always good, because the advantage of applying for master's courses in the UK is that you can tailor it. You can design it specifically for that university. So it's always good to look at the different areas of research of that particular school, because something will spark an interest. So that could be the reason why students want to apply for that particular course. So it's always worth mentioning that. Certainly talk about professional experience. So if you have work experience in the particular field, that's an advantage, and it's definitely worth mentioning. And what your career aspirations are. So again, if that's something that something sparked your interest about the university itself, talk about that, and what you would like to go into. Certainly at master's level, most students have a good idea of why they're studying the masters and what they want to specialize in. So that's something that we would recommend mentioning as well. But I have a PDF document which is guidance for preparing the personal statement, what and what not to include. So I can send that to students as well.
That will be great, because we will send them the recording of the presentation, so we can include any message that you want us to send them, including this kind of material.
Okay.
So we have a second question from Marcela, and she's asking, ¿existen programas de maestría en cambio climático o economía circular?
Climate change, there isn't a master's in that with that specific title, but I imagine we have different programs in the business school based on sustainability and environmental programs as well. So I will investigate that and send some options. So that could be within our biosciences, that campus, or different programs in economics as well. So I'll have a look and explore the different options that that include modules on climate change. Is that for, may I ask, are you an engineering student?
So, Marcela, por favor, si nos contestas en el chat para poderle contar. So, we are going to wait for Marcela to send us the information and I will go back to it. Right. Christian has another question and he wants to know if people can work in the United Kingdom after completing their programs and how the university support them, how could you guide them about how to take advantage of this opportunity?
Absolutely, and that's something actually that I didn't mention in the presentation, but it's a good point. So students can apply to stay in the UK for up to 2 years after they graduate. So that could be to look for work or to work, be employed. So you can work during the masters up to 20 hours and then full-time with a different visa, which our visa and immigration team can help each student with. So we can support and be a sponsored university for students who do wish to do that. So when you're here, I can send you information about the process, but you can do all that when you're actually here. And if a job opportunity comes up. So yes, that's a good option, certainly for master's students who want to stay a bit longer, gain some really valuable experience in industry, in the UK after they've graduated.
Great. Milena wants to know how the university is doing classes now. So during the pandemic, what had happened and what are their plans for the next semesters?
It's another good question. It has been some of the classes. It has depended on the courses. So some courses require laboratories, and it's difficult to teach online. So those students who have been able to have returned to campus, but obviously that hasn't been the case for many students. So at the beginning of the pandemic, the classes were delivered remotely. So all our academics were delivering on different platforms that the university had access to. And then it became a combined approach. So some of the larger lectures were online, and then the smaller classes were in person. So it's been a mixture of both. Obviously, when it was lockdown, classes had to go to online, but since things have started to open, which they are now in the UK, and we're all looking forward to going back to campus and working there. But many students, a lot came back, and we're just looking forward to welcoming as many in person in September as possible. So from September, we're hoping that it will be very different and a lot similar to what it has been. Fingers crossed that people can travel.
Going back to Marcela's question, she confirms that she's an environmental engineering.
Environmental engineering, yes. So we certainly we offer programs at master's level in environmental engineering, and I believe some of them are part of the School of Chemical Engineering, but there are different options. So if you want to send me an email, I can send you the different options in that area as well.
Thank you. Brian is asking, después de terminar una maestría, ¿qué tan probable es encontrar trabajo y quedarse trabajando en el Reino Unido?
Again, I think this depends. There are certainly opportunities, and it depends on the area that you're studying, and it depends on job opportunities, really. But I think you're in a good place to make those connections with people in industry. So, when you are here, take advantage of all the opportunities that you can, because the universities invite professionals working in industry to give guest lectures. Then there are networking opportunities, so they have regular careers fairs. That's a perfect opportunity to make those contacts. And the academics themselves, they either have worked in industry or have connections in industry. So it's about being proactive as well. But you will see that many of the programs have their rating of how, sometimes it's 96 to 100%, well, 100% of employability. So look at the employability rate in the program page, because it does tell you as well.
We have 2 questions regarding if you have programs in finance and design. So I would like to ask you how they could check, or what would you recommend them to verify the programs that you have to offer? And also if you can let us know if you have programs in finance and design.
We do, yes, certainly. So I would recommend you to check on our website. So all the different programs at postgraduate level, all levels, you can see on our website. And if you can't find a particular program, if it may still exist, but just with a slightly different name. So please feel free to contact me, and I can support you there. But initially, if you want to just explore our website and the postgraduate prospectus on our site, you'll see the different faculties. But again, if you don't see the exact program that you're thinking of, just drop me a line, because it may still exist in a different area.
We are going back to the score of the TOEFL. It's enough to have a score of 80 in the TOEFL?
I need to double check. We would need TOEFL IBT. I can double check the equivalent, because we have a list of equivalencies of, let's say, IELTS at 6.5. And I think 80 would be enough, but I need to double check on the equivalent sheet that we have.
So Emma, can I ask you if you could write your email in the chat so
Absolutely.
They can contact you? And please feel free to contact Emma for any specific questions or any question you have after the session, because we know sometimes when you are applying, you have like a specific cases and you want to review it. So we have, yeah. Thank you, Emma. We have one more question from Christian. He's asking, do I require a Gmat or similar exam to apply for a program in finance?
Actually, Nottingham, it's not an academic requirement. So some universities do. Nottingham doesn't require the Gmat, so no.
Yvonne wants to know if the scholarships for athletics are only for deportistas, si es para deportistas profesionales.
Sí, son para deportistas profesionales. Yeah, so but there are different teams. So the scholarship package, there's a Sporting Excellence Award. So if you're competing at regional or national level, for example, in Colombia in a certain sport, you may be considered for those. And then there's a sports package for athletes as well, competing at different levels. But there are different teams at the university because we're big on sport, so you can trial for the top 3 teams of the university as well.
Well, we don't have any more questions, so I want to thank you for your time and your clear explanation. And also, I thanks all the participants during our session, and I invite you to contact Emma for any specific questions and keep and start your project to go to the University of Nottingham. Emma, I don't know if you want to add something before we end the session.
I just want to say a huge thank you to you, Johanna, as well. I really appreciate this opportunity, and please feel free to contact me either in English or Spanish. I presented in English because I knew I'd speak for too long otherwise, but yeah, just drop me a line. I'm happy to help with your application process.
Bueno, y finalmente quiero invitarlos a todos a participar a la charla informativa del programa de crédito beca, en donde les explicamos cómo postularse a nuestra convocatoria, cómo funciona el esquema de financiación. Esta charla se realiza el primer viernes de cada mes a las 8 de la mañana y el segundo sábado de cada mes a las 9:30 de la mañana. Ya las charlas de agosto pasaron, así que los invitamos a las charlas en septiembre. Y para ingresar a estas charlas únicamente deben ingresar a nuestra página web. Allí van a encontrar el link para que puedan participar en estas sesiones informativas. Voy a cerrar respondiendo una pregunta. La grabación sí se compartirá y se publicará en nuestro canal de YouTube en los próximos 3 días hábiles. Entonces, muchas gracias para todos y un feliz día.
Gracias a todos.